Well, everyone, welcome to the first ever of an ongoing weekly community. You obviously were meant to be here tonight because we set up many hoops for you to jump through to be here at the It's All Good Circle. And technology, we'll figure it out. Next week will be easier. And thank goodness it's not just a one-time thing. We invited you to this weekly sanctuary of connection, healing, and community. And it's hosted by me, Dr. Dream, and my buddy Flip, and my dear friend Destiny. And we are the foundational pieces, as it were, of the It's All Good Circle at this point. And so we welcome you, and you'll get to hear from Flip and Destiny as we go on. We like to say, come as you are and leave more aligned. And it might be better to say, just leave in a higher vibration. And that's really what it's about. People say, why did you do this? And the answer is really very clear for me. And that is, I know that many of us in our own cities and where we live, we don't particularly have a community of like-minded people that we can connect with and just immediately, just by knowing that they're here, means that the connection is easy. And that was my motivation for this, is to create a heart-centered gathering space to share, learn, explore, and elevate, and just have it be that every Monday night you've got a place that you belong, that you're welcome, that like-minded people are there, and we're all here to share love and support. It is, of course, open to anyone aligned with the It's All Good vibe. And those are the seekers, healers, dreamers, and community-minded beings. And again, from about, I don't know, was it about a year ago, Stephanie and I attached ourselves to the hashtag Here to Love You. And it's just permeated everything we do. And so here we are, the It's All Good Circle. Now, many of you know that Stephanie and I spend most of our time on the road in a truck camper. I'm going to give you just a little look at it before I go back to the cool background. I'm sitting at the dinette. That curtain is blocking our bed. And this is it. Not the easiest thing for two of us to have computers out. But Steph, can you come over and say hi? Now, the reason that this is so cool tonight, well, it'll be cool every Monday night. But the reason that it's really so cool tonight is that it's Stephanie's birthday. And so just give like a big wave of love and good energy to Stephanie, who so lovingly allowed me to do this on her birthday, which I just think is great. Look, Karen Michaels is just getting here, and it's her birthday also. Now yeah, it is. You have many birthday twins, honey. We'll go over the list. Now I'll go back to the cool background. You don't need to see our little tiny truck camper, but this is how it works for us. We'll be coming to you every Monday night from wherever we are. Compliments of Elon Musk's Starlink, and just us fixing our schedule that this is a priority. Now, when I put this out there, I asked some people in my inner circle. Let me go back a little bit further. In January of this past year, I started a small mastermind Zoom, and it was every Monday, and there were 9 of us, and we would get together to support each other. Destiny was in it. Gail, who's here right now, was in it. We met every Monday, and it was incredibly powerful. There was so much love, so much support. We could bring our challenges, our issues. We could hold each other accountable in a way that we call comfortable accountability, which really just means I love you so much, I'm going to hold you accountable to whatever you want me to hold you accountable to, which is a really beautiful thing. And we dissolved, or I should say, evolved that group into the It's All Good circle. Because I was like, we played it out for 6 months. It was fabulous. We all got a lot out of it, the 9 of us that were in it. And then I was like, you know what? What if we did something where we just completely supported the community? Anyone who wanted to show up and be there, anyone who just felt the need or desire to feel connected to others. It's I don't think it's a stretch for me to say it's a rather crazy time in the world. I also don't think it's a stretch to suggest that it may get even more chaotic. And so a group like this, where we are just here to be authentic, to be real, to be raw, and to be present with each other, is going to be more and more important as time goes on. I think many of us in our other individual circles are seeing a lot of crazy things play out. I know that I've got a whole crew of EE system people here, and there's all sorts of things going on in that community, and in my own little subsections of community and groups and friends. People's true colors are showing up, and they're not always what we want them to be, certainly, and not always what we thought they were going to be. And this is a place for us to be able to be ourselves, to be supportive, and to really hold that vibration and that energy. So what's to be expected here? A brief check-in, or what we call a cosmic weather update, which is kind of what's going on right now, and it'll be a little different each week. We'll have a featured wisdom topic or a tool, some type of frequency healing or something that we share. I've had some fabulous people step up and say, hey, I'd love to do a 25-minute presentation for your new It's All Good circle. And so we're going to have some really top name people that are well known in some of our communities showing up to share and to give wisdom and to just be present and share what they're here to share. This is a space for shares, the questions, co-reflection. There'll be an open forum here in a little bit. And then each week we'll do a meditation or a breath blessing or a prayer, maybe include some bowls or some different sound and vibration, and then there'll be announcements and whatnot. So in that energetic, I'd like to go ahead and do a opening meditation for all of us. So let's just begin by arriving. Take a deep breath in through the nose, hold it for just a moment, and exhale gently through the mouth. Let's do that again. In and out. And one more together. In and out. With each breath, we soften the space between moments. With each breath, we return to the now, where all is good and all is possible. So feel yourself landing into your body, into your heart, into this sacred circle of community. As you breathe, imagine a warm golden light beginning to form above your head. It gently pours into you like liquid sunlight through the crown, down behind the eyes, into your throat, heart, belly, hips, legs, and feet. This golden light is love. It is trust. It is the frequency of it's all good. Now see this light expanding outward, connecting to each soul here with you now, forming a beautiful web of light and energy, stretching across towns, mountains, oceans. We are together. 7. One family, one field, one breath. In this space, there is no striving, only arriving. There is no pressure, only presence. There is no fear, only flow. Now take a moment in silence to feel into your intention for being here today. Why did your soul guide you to this circle? What are you ready to receive? What are you ready to release? Now breathe into that intention. With your next exhale, offer it to this sacred field. Know this: you are seen. You are safe. You are supported. And together, we co-create this moment. Together, we rise. When you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to this space. Wiggle your fingers and your toes a little bit. Open your eyes. Welcome to the It's All Good circle. Now, as you're...
And stop talking. Mark, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Yes?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Well, we're not going to play the bowl. What happens is there's a noise suppression, background noise suppression that's on naturally. And then when you turn it off, you couldn't even hear me. So I'm going to hold off on the bowls tonight, and I'm going to do some practicing with Flip and Destiny over the next week, and we'll figure out how to get this one straightened out. What I'd like to do is ask Flip and Destiny to introduce themselves and share a little bit about themselves. I'd like Flip to go first. And ever since I met him, he's a EE system owner from Maiden Rock, Wisconsin, which closest big city is Minneapolis. And from the time that I met him, I knew that we were going to be good, longtime friends. I interviewed him for my podcast on EE system owners. And he's an amazing being. And then we were in Dallas together at the Changing Lives, Changing Destiny conference. And it's the first time I got to meet him in person and his lovely wife, Mary. And indeed, there is a strong connection. And I'm going to let Flip share his own story. But the reason that I feel such a connection with him is that he inspires me. His center of groundedness, his perspective, has helped me. And every once in a while, when I get a little bit triggered and I need a reflection, I'll give Flip a call and I'll say, hey, here's what's going on. Am I missing something? Is there something I'm not allowing myself to see? And I trust him. And I'm open to whatever he would say to me in that moment, along with all the other moments. As a side note, he also acted as my bodyguard in in Dallas. He's a incredibly loving, gentle, amazing being. And if that's not a really good setup, let's hear what he has to say. Flip, you're on.
Well, thank you, Mark. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stop where you left off because that was awfully nice of you. Myself and Mark actually met when we were doing a little bit of bantering back and forth with some things on one of the threads in kind of a high-spirited thing in supporting EE system. And I would every once in a while pop in there and then say some things, and you know, it's sometimes you think that there's some things that you might want to say that maybe somebody else isn't quite understanding, and I said some things, and Mark contacted me privately, and he said, I don't know who you are, but we need to meet. and it was brilliant because I have gotten to know so many interesting, brilliant people with the EE system. You know, we're all so blessed with this energy enhancement deal that, you know, I mean, do I fully understand what I'm sitting on? Nope. Do I need to? Nope. I get on airplanes. I don't know how they fly. I have a general idea, but you know, and the things that happen, and I'll just say this. So I had a power outage a little over a week ago, and I had my daughter post on either Facebook or whatever, one of the threads, and ask people how are they reprogramming their system, because I wanted to know if there's something different that I should be maybe doing. And people were getting back in touch saying, no, probably go back to the standard and do the, you know, the normal default. And so I did that. Then I was thinking, well, maybe I should have my system recalibrated. So I had my daughter put that out there as well. One night about 9:30, 10 o'clock, Jen got in touch with me and said, oh, my programmer was just here. Or not programmer, but calibrator. I contacted him. Well, long story short, at 2 a.m, we consummated a deal, and he was at my home at 11 the next morning. And it was brilliant. And so this comes from what I call my place of be. I had a couple of wonderful alpacas, Gino and Vinny, and they encouraged me to write a book, Gino and Vinny Come to America. And that was a book about freedom. And I had a t-shirt that said, be political. Myself and my wife did political humor through the eyes of pelicans, and we called it Politicals. And Mary drew out these wonderful cartoons, and we came up with things, and it was really quite brilliant. And so I had this t-shirt that said be political on it, and we took a picture of me staring in the eyes of my alpacas, and the only thing that showed up was B. I end all of my communications with the letters B, E, and quotation marks, because that's my private sanctity, and I want to share that with people. God is not in the mind. God is beyond the mind. And when I say the word be, as my mantra, it flushes my whole system and it allows me to go perfectly still and perfect. And it allows me to understand and let everything be absolutely perfect at that moment. And it can be for a millisecond, it can be for a minute, it can be for 5 minutes, whatever time we have to be in that special place. And so that's something that I've worked with people, both in my center and of how they can find their own place of be. And it's just become a special thing for me. And just so you all know, my son-in-law Clayton is 45 years old. He's a locked-in quadriplegic. He's the happiest guy you'll ever meet that cannot move his body. He cannot talk. It's a really interesting dynamic. Clayton lives in my home. I just happen to have a big house that we could put Clayton after he came out of the hospital. He was in the hospital for 9 months. He had a stroke, torn artery in his neck, a clot at night, blocked the blood flow to the brain. He's a locked-in quadriplegic. He's in line right now with Neuralink, one of Elon Musk's companies, to get a brain implant that will control anything that goes to his mouth, the computer will say. And so it's a really cool deal. We're so excited for him and for him to be able to have a voice again. But it's just an extreme dynamic when I think I'm having a bad day, I just go into Clayton's room. And it's humbling. It's a very interesting thing of how a person of his situation can be so extremely happy. And it's incredible. And so, it really gives me reason and, the thought and character. And this was all put into place. Sorry about Clayton, but it was all put into place. And I was offered up to be here and be a part of it. And it's made me a tremendously better person. And somebody said that if we could only imagine that everything that we were going through is part of where we're going, and how we need to really embrace what we're doing, because this is and it's so brilliant. We're in such a great place, and then I get to meet people like Mark and all the different people with the EE system, and it's we're all doing a really interesting thing. I don't know that any of us really knew what we were doing when we went here, but I think we're really starting to figure it out, and it's a tremendous cause. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it, and I'm very blessed that Mark asked me to come and be a part of his project, and I'm glad to be here, and whatever I can do for anybody, I'm here. So thank you very much, Mark. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we're going to have a great time.
Thank you, Flip. I appreciate you stepping up to take a leadership role in this group. I was never interested in doing this on my own. And so it means a lot, which leads me to Destiny. Destiny was part of the mastermind group that we started back in January. She is the absolute best friend of my wife, Stephanie. And from the time that I met Destiny, there was an immediate bond. And of course there would be, because my wife wouldn't love someone so much that I wouldn't love that same amount. And so we've been together, what, 8+ years? So Stephanie and I have been together 8+ years. So I've heard about Destiny for that many years and met her along the way, and we've established our own friendship, the two of us, outside of the friendship that the three of us have, in addition to the friendship that she and Stephanie have. And it's It's incredibly fulfilling for me. I watch people. I watch what they say and how they live. And what I'm looking for in interactions with everyone is to be inspired. I've got to figure that everybody is got some aspect of who they are that can inspire me, that can help me be a better person. There is no shortage of inspiration that comes from destiny. I am a better person today knowing her. And as I say, I've watched her just very closely, and she doesn't have it easy. She's a single mother. She's got two young boys. She's got a work ethic that is as solid of a work ethic of anyone I've ever met. She will do whatever it takes to provide for her sons and to have the life that she has. She is a researcher, and she throws herself into knowledge with a thirst that inspires me to become more thirsty in my own search for knowledge. I have recently asked her for help. She's a Ayurvedic practitioner, and I've asked her for help counseling me in shifting aspects of my life to be more in alignment with Ayurvedic values and practices. And she has taken it on with a great passion, and it all kind of freaks me out because it's all kind of new stuff. But with her guidance and everything, I'm stepping up to the plate. And so when I asked for people to step up to help me with this, she stepped up right away. And it 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 makes me really happy to have a friend like her. And for Stephanie and myself, it makes us incredibly happy to call her family, and to just have her in our world every single day. And so, Destiny, share with us where that drive comes from and where that thirst for knowledge comes from, and how you can just keep going at it and never give up. Go ahead, dear.
Thank you so much for your kind words. It means a lot to me. Um, Gosh, I grew up knowing that the most important things in life to me were going to be experiences and connections rather than material things. And so, from a young age, I really threw myself into getting to experience those. And it certainly led me down a little bit of a wild path. Um, and a big part of that path was um, looking for that connection and love outside of myself. And just within the last few years, I've come to a point where I realize that the love and the connection that I seek is actually inside of myself, and that the rest of the world around me is a reflection of who I am inside. And so, um, gosh, it's funny how you in life you gain all of this knowledge while you're looking, but it takes the experiences of life to make you really understand that knowledge and for that knowledge to become wisdom. Um, One of the things that Dr. Dream taught me several years ago is the paradigm of divine perfection in all things, which I think really ties in with the "it's all good" motto. And it's that everything that's happening to you in life is for a reason and a purpose, and that while you might not understand it right now, you will if you keep paying attention and you keep looking and you keep searching. And so that has been huge for me. I grew up real, really Christian, and when I was like 15 or 16, someone asked me why I believed in that beyond the fact that I'd been raised to believe that. And so I really started looking for um, for truth in life at that point, and began building my own set of beliefs. And divine perfection in all things really became the core of my beliefs once I started playing around with it and seeing it in life. And it's been so beautiful. And along the journey, I discovered that I wasn't happy with my life's work so far. I was doing everything that I needed to do to provide for my family, but it still at the end of the day, I was feeling like I wasn't really um, providing much value out in the world. So I really started seeking for my purpose. And a couple of years ago, I discovered Ayurveda. Um, and Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga. It comes from the Vedic scriptures that are 5,000 years old. And that knowledge is much older than that, but that is when it was written down 5,000 years ago. And yoga had already really made a big difference in my life long before I found Ayurveda. And once I started reading and doing these different courses on Ayurveda, I realized like this resonates with me on the deepest level. And it came into my life at the same time as I was realizing that I was looking for love and connection outside of myself. And um, Ayurveda provides the groundwork for what it means to physically love oneself. And the journey to becoming whole always starts with the body. The body, your mind over repetition teaches the body how to act. Um, and then once the body has been conditioned into a certain way, then the body starts overriding the mind in certain things. That's why physical addictions are so difficult to break. Um, so Ayurveda teaches you how to holistically live in a way that your body is a physical manifestation of love. And so that is why I became so very interested in it. And the the circle that we started at the beginning of the year was so impacting to me because um, I don't have a whole lot of people around me who believe the things that I believe or try to live the way that I want to live. And um, I just had goals that I didn't have a whole lot of support in making happen. And it was just so easy in life to get distracted and to not continue to work on your goals. And so having a weekly group to uplift and to remind me who I am and what I'm doing was um, very foundational and made such a huge difference in the way that this year has gone. And so being a part of the group moving forward is an honor. And I would not rather be anywhere else than here. So thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this.
Thank you, Destiny. I appreciate you. Um, Most of you know my story. Um, I was a businessman. I got a download that wasn't to be my life, and I started the Tour of Love in January of 2010. And in fall of 2020, I had back-to-back strokes during that whole COVID bullshit, and it it was a wake up call. It was scary. When Dr. Sandra Rose Michael from EE System reached out to me, I was just out of the hospital. I was in a wheelchair, barely able to use a walker, and she said, "Get to Las Vegas. We can help you. We need to get you back out there doing what you do." And after 2 hours, I was able to walk unassisted. So a lot of my life revolves around EE system, my deep friendship with Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, everything that she's taught me, and this technology that is changing lives and creating miracles all over the world. Stephanie was there by my side the entire time. She says I was incredibly motivated and brave and all those great words. And all I remember is just not in belief of what was happening to me, but telling myself I didn't come here to this reality to be crushed by it. And I look out right now at who's on this Zoom, and I see my dear friend Nancy. And Nancy was just sharing with us before we started that joy is her new word. And then joy happens to be on the Zoom. But Nancy knows firsthand that she didn't come here to be crushed by this reality. And she's had to rise up to that so many times. And I see not the picture, but the placeholder for Sue and John Love. And they will be on my podcast soon. I've known them since 2014. And a couple of years ago, there was an explosion at their home, and Sue was thrown into the air 20 or 30 feet, landed on her head. Very long story short, lost her feet. She is such an inspiration. I got to talk to them today while driving here to Boise, and I'm so pleased that they're here. My friend Vienna, my friend Monica, they kind of came to me as a package, so to speak. Vienna's been on my podcast. She's amazing. Jen Irvin is a dear friend, has a EE System Center. Karen Michaels and her husband have been on the podcast. Tamara Kiss paved a way for us to come into Florida, and she was very supportive for us. Gail McCain, just from the moment I met her, she didn't hold back, and she stepped up, and she'd tell me to just stop and take a breath and teach me how to connect, and she never held back. And we got to talk today also, and she still doesn't hold back. I love you all so much, and I'm incredibly touched that even with me making it incredibly hard for people to log into this effing thing, that you all made it. You know, it's kind of like I set up the gauntlet that you all had to go through. And it means a lot. And this will probably be the least amount of people we have in the future. And so how nice to start with an intimate gathering. Catherine in Ohio, EE Systems Center in her home, registered nurse, unique perspective, been on my podcast. You all that have had that kind of contact with me, and here you are supporting me in supporting everybody. You showed up not just to support me, but to hold down the energy for all of us. And so our hashtag here to love you really belongs to everyone that shows up here. It's not easy for us. I look at your faces and I know your stories, and we're here to create big change. We're here to rock the system, to support others that are ready to be supported. And it's not an easy task. And I choose for this Monday night to be that place where we can dip in and support and love each other, so then we can go back out into the world for another week and do what we need to do, sometimes with gratitude, sometimes with people thinking that we're just bat poop crazy, and whatever else in between those two ends of the spectrum. Um, I just want to help. I exist to be in service, to create change for humanity. But don't get me wrong, people start to think that Dr. Dream is just all rainbows and butterflies. And ask my wife or anyone who really knows me, I've got an edge. And that edge is truth. And it's also loyalty. And so I've had a tough year this year. Because I've had three people that I considered to be in my absolute inner circle. And for one reason or another, mostly related to lack of transparency, lack of honesty, and lack of walking the talk, I've had to pull myself out or move them out or raise my frequency so rapidly that they just couldn't stand to be in my inner circle anymore. And it hurt. But by not making excuses for people and saying, oh, that's okay that they lied like that, or that's okay they did that, just says to God that I'm not who I am. And I only have my truth in this life. And if you want to play in my sandbox, there's certain standards for all of us. And it's not a standard that I hold anyone outside of me to. It's a standard I hold myself to. But then it becomes a reflection. Okay. So I've got a couple more things to share, and then we'll open it up for a few minutes. I found today, it was sent to me, the Earth Prayer for Peace by a woman named Amethyst Freeman. I'll just read this. The following prayer is given as a gift of love for all people on earth and from every spiritual belief to use their own free will with the hope that it will help to create a world of peace with freedom between all people on earth in a common bond of communication, understanding, sharing, community, and abundance. And it goes on to say, we claim the earth for light and love and peace with freedom. And here is what she titles the call. Beloved Heavenly Father, Mother, God, beloved seven mighty archangels and angels of peace and freedom, cosmic forces of the Christ consciousness and the Divine Mother, ascended beings of light, love, and truth, we call for your assistance at this time on earth. We call as one united voice, saying we will not allow our earth and her people to be taken on a downward spiral of terrorism, war, chaos, and disintegration. The call and prayer compels the answer. And we offer the following prayer so that the earth and her people may now enter a golden age in a harmonious manner, living lives of peace with freedom and understanding, community, sharing, and abundance. This is the prayer. We claim the earth so that we may be free for love and light and victory. In one united voice we call peace, love, light, and freedom for one and all. We do not seek violent ways. By war and bloodshed as in former days, we invoke golden, pink, and violet rays of peace. On angels' wings of mercy and healing rays comes earth's release. We call to heaven's hosts, angels of light, love, and truth, come to earth with millions of legions. We welcome you. Transmute all plots and plans of terrorism and war, and in their place, love, light, and harmony, our earth restore. Blaze the light through, blaze the love through. Transmute acts of terrorism and plans for war. No more, no more, no more. Thus far, no farther. Thus far, no farther. Thus far, no farther. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Blaze the light through. Blaze the love through. Purify all on earth, and earth's peace restore. We claim peace and freedom, our divine expression so true of love, light, and sharing, and community too. A golden age now manifests for all humanity, all for one, and one for all, living harmoniously. To heaven's hosts and angels of love, light, and truth, with heartfelt gratitude, we offer thanks to you. Guide, guard, and protect us in the coming days, so we may live our lives in peace and freedom's way. We accept that the call and prayer compels the answer, and ask for it to be sealed in our hearts and the heart of the Divine Mother of Peace and the cosmic Christ of love. Thy will be done. Amen, or so be it. And that was written by Amethyst Freeman. And when I read it, I said, I've got to share that tonight. And it just showed up ever so beautifully for me. Now, we're on the tail end of the Zoom experience tonight. This is a time that you can unmute yourself and share whatever you would like to share. And the group's not so big that I have to pick anyone or you have to raise your hand. If two of you start talking at the same time, one of you acquiesce and then you'll get to go. So anyone that wants to share or talk right now, this is your opportunity. So I'm going to just go do this closing meditation. We went a little bit over, but it seems like that was okay with everyone. Go ahead. Take a listen. Let's take a moment now to pause and integrate. Allow your eyes to close softly. Return to your breath, the sacred rhythm within you. In and out. Feel the ground that's supporting whatever you're sitting on. Feel your heart still resonating with the frequencies we've shared, the frequencies from our hearts. Feel the presence of each soul in this circle and the field of love, wisdom, and unity that now surrounds us. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently whisper within your heart, "It's all good." Together we showed up. We listened. We held space. We remembered what it means to be human and what it means to be divine. Let's offer gratitude to ourselves for being here, to each other for the connection, and to the greater mystery that weaves us together in this time and space. Feel this circle now gently dissolving into stardust, but know this, the energy remains, the field remains, the love remains. Wherever you go from here, you carry the spark. You carry the tone. You carry the reminder. You are not alone. You are held. You are light. You are love. And all is well. All is good. It's all good. Let us close with one shared breath. In through the nose. Hold it. And out through the mouth. And when you're ready, return to this cosmic room, open your eyes, and carry this frequency into the world. We'll meet again in the field next Monday, and we'll all be here for each other. Blessings of love to you, my family. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, for sharing your energy, for sharing yourself. It is so incredibly beautiful and so meaningful, and I'm beside myself, and I look forward to this feeling every Monday and every Monday and every Monday. Thank you all. Many blessings to you. Special thanks to Flip and Destiny for stepping up to be foundational pieces. And thank you all for showing up. And we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Love you all.
Good night.
Love you, Mark. B.
B.